Every month we put together the weirdest of the weird stories in the gaming world together, and we've done it yet again. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, weird gaming stories of June 2022. Starting off with number 10, wow, Diablo Immortal's microtransactions. Whew. So while they're definitely not the worst out there by any means, in the post-game there's something very specific. There's something called a legendary gem. That's what you use to upgrade characters during the post-game. Thing is, they're not an earnable currency. They are purchasable, and you cannot purchase them outright. What you're going to have to do in order to get legendary gems is spend money on legendary crests, also known as legendary loot boxes. So, this is not going to be how much it's going to cost you to fully upgrade a character, but because of how difficult it is to get a legendary gem out of one of these loot boxes, it could cost you up to $110,000. A Diablo Immortal streamer spent more than $15,000 obtaining a 5-star gem, and then just completely destroyed it, then completely deleted his hero, so he couldn't start playing the game again at a later time. Really proved his point. Microtransactions are bad. And number 9, a genuine genius built a PS5 Slim. And I know that sounds like not a big deal, but it's less than an inch slim. Thick? Slim. Whatever. So this wouldn't be that big of a deal because, you know, at some point Sony is going to release a PS5 Slim. But this is just different. It is an incredible video that if you're in any way interested in like electronics building or just like any kind of DIY or anything, it doesn't even matter if you care if it's video game stuff. It's just an incredible video. The PS5 is just like this monster machine that looks insane, has huge cooling apparatus in it, and he managed to accomplish it with like water cooling and deconstructing a power supply. I mean, it's I've watched it like 3 times now. It's wild. It's a 30-minute long video, so it's not like a short thing, but it goes by like nothing, and it's amazing what this guy did. It's weird in that it's probably thinner and cooler than the thing that PlayStation 5 Slim actually will be. And number 8, somebody bought $40,000 worth of Nintendo stock in order to be privy to the annual shareholder meeting, which means you would have to buy at least 100 shares in the company in order to get in on and be able to actually speak with Nintendo brass, which costs about 5.6 million yen, or around $40,000. Originally, nobody really knew that he bought the stock just to ask this question about F-Zero, but he did. Business Insider caught up with him and found out exactly what his involvement was. And Nintendo's response was, "It is realistically difficult to develop new titles and remakes, including sequels, for every Nintendo game that people request. But we're very grateful and appreciate the expectations our fans have for our games." Another executive said, "We can't tell you if there are any plans for future remakes of any specific game, but during development, we're always thinking about various possibilities that players can enjoy." Maybe not worth $40,000. That's all I'm going to say. And number 7, the Kinect creator actually, for some reason, seemed to decide that watching VR porn at work was a good idea. That, and he apparently harassed female employees. And this isn't like new behavior either. Apparently he's been at it for quite a while. 25 employees drafted a complaint about him, and various CEOs were warning people not to leave him alone with women. He worked at the company for 21 years and was the pioneer behind Kinect and HoloLens, and I guess neither of those things really worked out, so enjoy your porn watching, legacy. And number 6, Yuji Naka, one of the main people behind Sonic the Hedgehog, finally confirmed that Michael Jackson created some of the music for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 soundtrack. Now, see, the interesting thing about this is that rumors about him being involved in the game go all the way back to it being released. Like, people noticed that there were some elements of the music that sounded very much like Michael Jackson music. And this is one of the reasons why Sonic 3 and Knuckles has not gotten a lot of re-releases. The PC version, perhaps, having some of the worst music. The prototype tracks that music is based off of are way better and were restored for the Sonic Origins soundtrack. But if you ever go back to that re-release, it's bad. Anyway, this is something that a lot of people have talked about, but Sega has always denied. But the reason that Michael Jackson was uncredited on Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is he did not like the sound of the music coming out of the console.
A few days later, Yuji Naka actually walked back on this, claiming that he's using an English translation tool and doesn't speak English very well. To me, it just sounds like our man got in trouble for revealing something he wasn't supposed to.
At number 5, they gave you the opportunity to play as Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village as part of the Winter's Expansion DLC. It is actually an arcade-style mode that is adding a third-person view to the game, which will allow you to play the main game in the same way you could play the remake of Resident Evil 4, or perhaps the more recent Resident Evil remakes. And then there's also going to be a Shadows of Rose DLC expansion that's actually narrative-oriented, that is going to follow Rose, Ethan's adult daughter. I mean, obviously she's not an adult at the end of the game, but it goes forward a ways. I think that the fun aspect of it is in this arcade mode with Lady Dimitrescu, you basically have to bend down to go through doorways. It's silly.
And number 4, Sega is putting out a Sega CD retro console. I don't know exactly what that is going to be all about. The first Sega Genesis Mini was probably one of the only really good retro emulation boxes. The Nintendo Classics were obviously at the top of the pack, but Sega is going for it again with the Mega Drive Mini 2, which is Japan only, at least now, and under $80. It's got a much better, maybe different game lineup. Obviously Sonic CD, Shining Force CD. It looks really cute, and it's only weird because like it's a second Genesis. It's kind of weird. It's not an attachment for the first one like the original Sega CD was. It's just a whole new thing. At number 3, Spain is the first European country to crack down on loot boxes with an actual law because they believe that it creates consumer behavior that is, quote, thoughtless, compulsive, or even pathological. Essentially, as we've said many, many times on this channel, loot boxes done in the way that many publishers really push for can create some serious addictions because they're essentially just gambling. You're putting money in and you might get something good. And you might not. You might completely waste your money. You might lose your money. So it's not surprising that a lot of people have got addicted to the gambling through loot boxes. And, well, this is an attempt to curb that. Good for Spain. Honestly, that's something like people have been asking for in the United States for a while now because it's taking something that is a different kind of gaming and injecting it into video gaming. It's something that has made many people lose a lot of money, and it kind of backdoored itself into the video game world by not being labeled as gambling. Good on you, Spain. At number 2, former Halo developer and current Destiny developer Bungie filed a lawsuit against Lord Nazo, a YouTuber, who created a bunch of fake accounts and issued 96 DMCA takedown notices to popular YouTube channels on Bungie's behalf. That's right, apparently, if you want to, you can file takedown notices on behalf of other companies on YouTube. So if you've ever had a mysterious takedown notice because you uploaded some gameplay footage that had some music in it that generally people don't have a problem with, it's possible that somebody did that fakely. I don't know. Destiny strongly supports fan-created content, and this person actually didn't just issue DMCA takedowns, but like they also threatened the people that they issued them to, like using these fake accounts to say things like, you're in for it now, better start running, the clock is ticking. And that sucks because it makes people scared of something that they don't need to be. So Bungie is suing for damages and injunctive relief, including enhanced statutory damages of $150,000 for each of the works implicated in the fraudulent takedown notices that willfully infringe Bungie's registered copyrights. Yikes, don't do stuff like this. And finally, at number 1, Todd Howard confirmed that Fallout 5 is next after Elder Scrolls 6, which is after Starfield. Starfield is, of course, delayed till next year, and they do not get these games done quick. Bethesda's like a huge company, too. It's not like they are lacking in resources. Their games are just so big in scale that it takes forever to make them. Like, in talking about, like, Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, and Fallout 5, I mean, it could easily be a decade or more before all 3 of these games come out. He also apologized that it takes them so long to make these games.
He said, I wish they came out faster. I really do. We're trying as hard as we can. And thanks, Todd. I mean, it's cool to know that that game is coming out someday, but I don't know if it was really actually that important to tell us, if I'm honest. That is so far into the future. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on Game Ranks.